Hello and welcome, as it is the 7th day of July 2019. Welcome to the Money Charts channel. No charts in this video. Rather, I'm going to just quickly go over some of these coins. I added how much these coins are doing against Bitcoin and the dollar since today at 15:45 or 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And right now it's 9 p.m. Eastern Time, or a few hours after the fact, not many. And within these handle prices, because Litecoin is 0.01047 rounded, it's down basically nothing, a little bit against the dollar, up basically nothing, a little bit against Bitcoin in this marginal amount of time. The ones down big right now are Komodo, as well as Waves is down, but that's because they had rallies that happened beforehand. So as far as ratio trades coming soon, Litecoin and Komodo, no surprise. And Waves, yep. It's getting close at 5.87. But what I want to talk about first is silver. And I've heard so much about how much silver do you need. Well, you know what? You need to have enough. It's that number is lower than what your goal should be, though. At least for me, because the number I want is most certainly more than what most people need. But that's what I want. If I don't get it and I come close, I'm going to do damn good. And I'm going to go through different style goals. I'm even going to go talk about the weather, literally, and goals within the weather. But first, let's talk about how much silver I want. First off, Canadian coins, maples. I just want to do one monster box order. I've never even bought 100 ounces at one time, albeit close is my biggest. It's almost 100. It's my one largest order. But to get one monster box at one time, 500 coins. And then whatever else, maybe a bit more. And then that's just one order, of course. I like to do orders every now and again and many agains to add up to many nows. I also want to get one in every Mylar case, which is really the first maples that I ever bought. Now, the years that I own are the following: 1989, 1990, and I got a good sum of my 1990 coins. I got a lot of them. But I don't have another one again until the year 2001, and I got more of them than I do 1990s, and I think they got good premiums on them. I have 2002, I have 2003, I own 2004, I own 2005, 2006, as well as 2008. So I definitely don't got 2007, and I know they stopped doing them around that time, but I wouldn't mind a complete collection of the milers. And I know the 1997s are going to be expensive, but they've been coming down a little bit in price as well. I did a silver count today. The Australian 1 kilo coins. They're nice. They're beautiful. I love those coins. I love the one. They're big. They're huge. They're a kilo. They're 32.2 ounces, and I have 5 of them, so I have 160 plus ounces that way. But I wouldn't mind getting every single one, and there's a lot that I gotta get, so it's going to be expensive. But I'm a games player. I love games, and I'm going to bring back my history. But I don't want to get Legos. I had Legos as a kid. I wouldn't mind upgrading, changing that, making it different. And I know Legos work good because of how they can piece together so easily. But my thinking is, give me a nice, good kitchen table, some sort of table. Give me a few hundred 1 ounce bars, several hundred of them. Give me many of the 10 ounce bars, and some kilo 100s will work good. And a little bit of like 2 ounces, 5 ounces, whatever little miscellaneous weird little pieces that you can get, and nicks and knacks, and I can order them. What can I build? Can I build like monuments? Can I build a baseball stadium kind of deal? I'd be curious to see what I can do. I know it's a heavy and expensive one, but no win. You're not going to throw things at and break it kind of deal. Take pictures, take videos of it. Something I might like to get into. But I need a lot of silver to do that. So overall, I wouldn't mind getting 100,000 troy ounces. I feel like I can complete all 3 of these goals and then some, if I can do such. And a games room. Oh, I like games. And I didn't even write down anything about a poker table on here. But yeah, I mean, I gotta have a poker room too. I never thought about that till just now. I don't have poker table, poker room, but yeah, a poker room has to be on here as well. Most certainly. So I'm just going on old school nostalgia for the most part. I'm not going on any of the new stuff, and quite frankly, still being in my mid 40s, poker is still not really that nostalgic yet. At least, I mean, it kind of is because I played it when I was 8 years old. But I mean, it's part of my 30s and late 20s. Poker, that is. But anyway, the Commodore 64. I was 1985. I mean, I loved throughout the entire 1980s and the early 90s, even into college. My first year of college, I still used the Commodore 64. That was 1994. That was the last year that I used it. Because maybe into early 95 I might have, or 94. So 93 I used it in college, first year. I got a 46DX 4100 in early 1995. I might have used it a little bit in 94, the Commodore 64. But there's a little thing coming out. It's a new little system. It's going to be coming out like December the 7th or something this year in like 5 months. And what it is that you plug it in HDMI, and it's got a whole bunch of games on there. It's got a programming language, which I'm probably not going to use, but it's just something I have to have. An original Apple computer, and it has to be a good one, good condition, everything like that. If I can find one, I don't think it's going to be that expensive of a buy. A Commodore 64, that's an easy own. That's 120 bucks US. I mean, that's just like okay, whatever. That's just a laugher for me. No problem on that. I mean, I might even pre-order it. I don't know yet. A Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, mainly the Sega Genesis and the original NES. I'm not a huge fan of the SNES, so maybe not even get that. But the NES and Genesis probably, and definitely not even anywhere close to a complete collection. But the games that I like and I wouldn't mind playing, so probably about 30, 40 Genesis games and probably about 50 Nintendo games I'd want. And then accessories like the TV, all the things that come with it. I mean, all the nice couches and chairs that you want to go with that type of stuff. So that's a game room I want to build. VHS collection, I thought, like all those great movies from the 1970s, 80s, and early 90s. Get that collection of all those movies that I loved. The ones that I can look at still might want to watch again, which means buying about 50 to 100 movies. And a lot of that type of stuff is going to come down to going to things like flea markets and such, as well as when I see this whole transfer of wealth coming in. I think there's going to be a lot of people looking to get into Bitcoin, looking to get into precious metals, and just trying to like protect themselves because of inflation, just trying to get dollars even. And it's going to be an interesting situation if people selling this type of thing. It'll be interesting, real supply demand market that's going to bring volatile changes to these prices. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. A few video game, ping pong, the large machines. I grew up with real arcades, the ones that had video games that were like 8 feet tall with stuff like that. I wouldn't mind getting 4 or 5 of those, including definitely the wrestling game that I used to play when I was in high school. I got to get that machine that was in the place across the street from the high school. That was there for every grade 10, 11, 12, and 13 that I went to. Was there for almost all of them anyway. So I got to get that one, probably about a few other ones as well that I might like. Most definitely, I got to get a very expensive, amazing backgammon player set. I'm a damn good player, and I just wouldn't mind having a good set because it's a single player game if you know how to do it. Because just like you can play both sides easy. Uh, and this isn't too much here. 1985-ish WWE toys or WWF back then. A complete collection. That's might be expensive if I get it in mint. But the ones that I had, I can't remember how they're named, but I know what they look like. I know what they are. They're the ones that I had as a kid, as well as the He-Man accessories too. Whatever I can find, they were fun. But that's just going to be more for show, here and there. As I really do feel like going back to my early days and just building it back up. I think it's a lot of nostalgia kicking in. And I didn't want to reveal my idea before when the product I wanted to buy was on the market. It's not on the market right now, unfortunately. I want to get my baseball and hockey cards back. I mean, they weren't the greatest before, and I wouldn't mind getting a much better collection. I could pretty much buy the collection that I had for how it looks and was so cheap. given how people sell it these days. It is so. I mean, if you really want to try to get these things cheap, I know I can. I'm looking for 1980s. Even some 70s are fine too. Late 70s are good. But I don't really want anything earlier than that at all. Nothing really. And I had some cards from the 1959, 1960, and I ended up selling all of them. But mainly that, and some early 90s, but I'm not too excited about them because they're really junk shit coins, cards. But what I wanted is sold out. Unhappy about that. I'm going to go to the webpage and show you what's sold out because it was damn good and it was damn expensive too. But I really feel if the cryptocurrencies work the way they do, I trade the way I do successfully, and I manage my currency and I manage my portfolio, I can complete every single one of these goals that I'm talking about. This one, of course, would have been expensive. It's a complete set wallpaper. That's what I want. Most likely for hockey, but don't throw it a 1980s baseball set. Projected is about 1982, 1983 OPG hockey. It won't be that expensive. It'll cost a little bit. The set to be in mint condition. I might even want to get them graded, every single one. And I want the complete set. But I want to start the set from scratch with 0 cards, which isn't that difficult to do from Baseball Card Exchange. And I emailed them, told them a little bit of what I was looking for, what I wanted, which was sold out. And obviously, I told them that, I mean, well, I mean, I can't say obviously, but I told them I need a large gain in my portfolio to even consider buying it. But in some of the stuff I want there, I need a significant gain as well. And they have some stuff on there I can buy is so damn cheap. When I refer to like the early '90s stuff, I could I could just start opening a whole bunch of packs right now because they're, oh my goodness, you talk about inflationary because there was there was a bubble that came across in the 1990s. And this is their website. And one of the things they do is they'll sell you a lot of cards at one time. So let's go to hockey, and we're going to go unopened from 1980 to 1989. And wait for it to load up. I think I have to go full. No, I don't have to go full screen on here. And we'll sort of from price, high to low. See, what I want in here costed 50,000 or $60,000. I think it was 60,000. I think maybe 50. Might have been 40. It was between. It was either 40, 50, or 60,000. The most expensive item here is 16,800 now, and I'm not buying that. That's just way too much. Although did think about it, but no. Plus, I don't really. I'm not a big fan of 84, 85. I actually am. Actually, I'm a big fan of it. I want to buy this for sure. I mean, this is why I believe I shouldn't be doing this because there's probably only one of them available and someone else. I don't think anyone's going to buy it on me. And if anything, I wouldn't be buying this probably. Well, I mean, they're going to have to either A, accept that, and I actually probably have to go there. I want to go there. That might be something I might even do like in a year. This might be like a 2-year project even. So something, I mean, the market conditions of where I'd be buying and selling will change so much in this time. But you have like 950 and you get a verified box of or you get a whole like 48 packs or something like that. It's pretty damn good. You get a lot of cards. And there's 82, 83 for 595. And these are I love that. This is the year I really do love though. This year here, I'm a fan of this. I just don't know what I would do for a wallpaper. Basically, the idea is take every single card, and then you custom design it so that it would fill like basically an entire room. And you have to get the wall, like the whole thing cut. Like people would come in, all the big measurements. How are you going to slap the cards behind? If there's like PSA cases done for you, because you have to like this is a case like this kind of deal with like there could be sets with like 500, 600 cards in it, and that would be damn cool. That's what I wanted to do. But the set that I wanted to buy was not from this decade. albeit close. It was from 79 and 1980. It was 70 to 79. It was a 79-80 set. And now, oh, by the way, this would be damn cool. Only 229 bucks for hockey stickers. I would so love to get the 1988, 89, 90, all those types of Panini sticker collections. Oh, I would so love those because they were so fun. I loved that. Me and me and my cousin, we used to have a lot of fun with those. It was so cool. But the most expensive on here isn't that expensive. It's only $5,000. No, it's expensive, but I mean, it's not 50,000. They had a complete box of Wayne Gretzky's rookie year on it for 60,000 on average. I calculated. You get so many more cards than what the set contains. It worked out to the point where you were getting like well over 700 cards for like a 300 400 card set or something. It was extreme ratio of cards to set. It actually mathematically worked out that you should be getting like at least every card like 2 3 times. But within these cards, if you look at each pack, sometimes you can see what's on the back of them. And the scary thing about buying these is people search them in advance, and you end up they take the good cards out and they wax them back together. That's the big risk here. And apparently these guys are certifying that that's not the case. Now with the Gretzky rookie year one, you can actually sometimes look at one of the cards to see maybe it's on the front or the back of one card. And on one of them was a Wayne Gretzky rookie card, which is worth a lot on the market. Now it might have some sort of wax or gum stain on it. And I'm hoping that if that's the case, it's the back of the card for the purposes that if I'm going to have a wallpaper with Wayne Gretzky's rookie year on it with the complete set, a rookie card, especially if I can pull out, and they're hard to get, but if you pull out a perfect graded rookie card, even a 9, out of there, because I'd be opening them up with gloves and the most carefulest of measures I possibly could. Because my theory is, if I were to put together, and they don't have they don't have any 7980 in here. I mean, one pack is expensive in itself. And I wouldn't want the tops packs either. No offense to the American side. But baseball, I don't want the OPC baseball. So it works out on both sides. But the the wallpaper itself, if I were to get something like that done, a complete set of Wayne Gretzky's rookie card, with every card, especially with the Wayne Gretzky, at least at a 9 grade or higher, especially 10, you're now talking about something that could be worth multiple millions of dollars. My figure for the cost, it could be at least a million. It was 60,000 to buy it. I might not have completed the complete set, but I would have bought the individual cards I need to get a complete set. And then take some time and as a hobby, as a game, like sort of like a kid. That's what I'm doing, reliving my kid days, I guess. And getting the set together so I can build that wallpaper together and just have a beautiful wallpaper for a beautiful room. Next up is the weather problem for July and August. I'm not gonna be able, I'm gonna have to handle it this year. Nothing I can do about it. That's fine. But it's funny because I've seen Australians in July try to handle their cold weather, and I kind of laugh at it a little bit because it's not that cold when they're talking about like 3-degree weather and -2 and -5 and what they consider the most deadliest cold weather there is. For me, that's -23. Anything that's not -10 is like easy hand. I mean, not -7's simple. I can handle that. I don't like -7, but I can handle it. 21 degrees is the current temperature in Toronto. Feels much nicer outside. It's colder. It got a little hot, 30 degrees, humidex even hotter. That's when it starts to get difficult. I got my air conditioner off, thankfully. It's been on way too much lately, and I don't like when it's on. but it's off right now, and hopefully it'll stay. Hopefully, I mean, 18 degrees. I'll have to turn it on a little bit in the afternoon at 26 tomorrow, especially if it feels like 29. I mean, that's handleable though. But when it gets to 33, 36, man, that's pretty tough. As far as we could see here, actual 30 degrees on the 5th, 28 degrees. That was pretty hot. I mean, but I was even saying to some friends, you know what? We're going to have times where people are going to hope for this weather to get down to this. Because we will usually it's always every year 35, 36, humid exit in the 40. I see it every year and I don't like it. Right now, as far as the July forecast, and I'm not going to lead much into it coming up, 28 feeling like 32. This one here, 26 feeling like 35. That's a little hot. If there's going to be a 35-degree forecast on the 11th day of July. 33-degree humidex on the 13th with the 27 degrees. So this is, and then we can see it gets to 36 humidex, 35, 37. I'll read its accuracy because this information may be relevant going into 2020. And then it's going to cool down to the end of July to the mid 20s. That's still pretty difficult hot. And I don't like it when it gets hot. As a kid, when I was having fun at the beach, going around all this stuff, when I was in grade 5, 4, 3, 2, all my grades earlier, but up to high school, and maybe it's hotter than it was back then with the Humidex. I don't know. But it was easier back then for me. I can remember some Canada Wonderlands trip that were pretty tough though, but I don't have too many memories of difficult times in the heat as a kid, but I do nowadays. So, how do I solve this problem? Especially because I wouldn't mind exploring different areas. And I've already named one area which would be nice to explore this time of year, and that would be Australia or New Zealand. If I take a look at the weather here, now the problem with Australia, other than the cost of being so expensive, extreme jet lag, and if this is what I'm wondering, if Australia is down under, and I'm on the very opposite end, Canada, would I be an up over? Because isn't the opposite of down under up over? Right now they have a strong severe risk shifts into Saskatchewan. I'm not. You know what? I mean, that's what I'm gonna be talking about next is other parts of Canada. But I mean, how beautiful is that? Just a few degrees below perfect temperature. Perfect temperature is 22 degrees. Perfect temperature. The problem with Australia is the lack of sun that they'll have this time of year, but they'll still have it. I don't know what I'm guess. I can only guess sunrise and sunset. That they would have, and I had one person commenting from Australia, but I'm going to guess that your sun at this time of year is rising at about. I'm going to say it's the same as here, same as our December. For us, on December, what would be the equivalency of January 7th? On January the 7th, our sun would rise at about. It's late, and it's going to change. It's going to change in the next summer. It's actually going to change. Throw that. But the sun will rise, or the darkness leaves at 7 in the morning, and the darkness reappears near 5 p.m. on January the 7th. So that's a little bit of a disadvantage. But you go to Sydney, you check out different areas, you check out different things for the first time. I mean, there's a chance I might do that next year. How much would it cost? Now the question is I'm going to be probably basing my decisions on when to go on the weather. I'm not going to leave here when it's a cold front in Canada. But if it's 36, 40, if the Humidex is getting past 40, I'm out of here. That's what's got to be, and that's the financial situation I need to get myself into with the cryptos because I do believe we're heading into hyper deflationary period. So these types of costs are going to go down over the next few years. That's my line of thinking, and of course, if the availability comes next year, then I'll take it. After all, that's part of the game. I don't even have I gotta get a passport though. I can't even technically leave this country right now. And I have no plan on getting one until I actually plan on going somewhere outside of Canada. Speaking of another place in Canada I wouldn't mind going to. And that would be way, way north, where there's going to be a lot of sun now. I'm guessing this time of year in Yellowknife, the sun is going to rise for you. It's probably going to be like 4 o'clock in the morning right now, I'd be guessing. 3 o'clock even, 3:34, probably be sick. And the sun probably doesn't go down close to midnight. For me, the sun rises, the darkness, 5 o'clock in the morning, and, well, it's 9:30 now. How dark is it outside? It's starting to it's gonna get it's not completely dark yet right now, 9:35, but it's relatively dark. It's the darkness is just coming in. But in Yellowknife, because it's closer to the North Pole, why didn't anything come up? Let me just type in the Northwest Territories because I even know if it's gonna be Yellowknife. I'd want to go to probably do search. I'd probably search for different areas where I'd want to go. A lot of it happened to with fishing, I would have to presume for this because I'm going to be wanting to spend a lot of time on the boat. Anytime I go to Northern Ontario, I'm going to spend Rice Lake. That's a good lake. Now, let's look at that's not a good lake. It's a lake. Lake Simcoe, that's not bad. Uh, I mean, this is my neck of the woods here. Where's Sam's Lake? Is there a Sam's Lake up here somewhere? It's so small. It'd be so hard to find that one. Goes to Algonquin Park, so I'm really north here. I mean, this area is all hot. I mean, this weather doesn't change. This is all the same, pretty much. Mazenal Lake is what I'm looking for, but I can't even find a city that's near it. Perth. That's Northbrook right here. Okay, Mazenal's Rigs right here. Um, this is a nice lake here. This is my favorite lake in the world. This one here. It's on Bon Echo Provincial Park. This is Mazenal Lake. How do I zoom? Right here. This is a nice. This is awesome. This is an awesome lake here. Oh, you can't put a motorboat. At least back in the day, I haven't been there in years. But there's good bass fishing in there. Terrible fish. I don't know. Other people have commented on fishing here. I've been across the whole lake. It's an amazing amazing lake. I love going on boats. I love riding in a boat. And anyway, that's a fun place to go. And that lake has a rock that is so huge. Awesome, awesome, awesome camping experience if you haven't been there. It's becoming Wingle, Ontario. Never been there before, as far as I know. But that's. I'm just trying to push this plus minus button and get to the Northwest Territories. Okay. Yeah, there's Minnesota. I've never been there. In fact, I've never even left this time zone, but that's going to change going up to. Come on, that is annoying. I'm just trying to like scroll like that. Well, go slow, baby steps. Don't push fast because this page sucks. I don't like this page too much, by the way. Northwest Territories is up here. Whitehorse, 25 degrees. Okay, let's scroll down through Hudson Bay. See, look at this, 10 degrees here at Yellowknife. 14 degrees up here. That might be a better area to go to, Inuvik. Closer to yeah. I mean, what's Northwest Territories? I mean, I want to go in here. I want to be in this part of the water. And when it's 29 degrees, 32 degrees Celsius here, I just skip out of town. I go to Toronto. I fly out. I take a plane. Oh, that might be a lot harder to go there than. What's the population of this place? I mean, it may not be as easy to get there compared to Yellowknife. I gotta look at that. I gotta search how easy would it be if I want to fly out, say Wednesday, to there, and then spend like 9, 10 days there or whatever. I can trade the market here or there. In fact, it's a lot easier to do it there because I don't know. I think there's a little. I've heard there's some weird things about trading exchanges if you leave the country. But technically, I wouldn't be leaving the country if I'm going here. But 13 degrees Celsius, I mean, that is so nice. I mean, you wear a jacket. You don't. You take your shirts off. You got shorts off. Uh, and then you look at the daily forecast, and the sunrise and sunset here must be amazing. Well, you might have to figure out a way to close your. Because I'm at the stage myself where I have to close my door at 6 in the morning, just because the sun starts rising. Well, 6:30. But 15 degrees, 18 degrees, 14 degrees, 18, 19. Get a hotel room. And I got to think back to the Australia. I got to think more people go there in December, January, February. That hotel rooms might be cheaper in Australia. But I mean, whatever the cost that. Hours of sun, 11 hours. And then, okay, I can see what they mean based on the cloudiness. Can I get sunrise and sunset times here? 6 p.m., 6 p.m. Oh my goodness, it's one of those situations right now. Yeah, you go this time of year. Oh my goodness, there'd be like no sunset. I mean, that's pretty close to the North Pole. Oh, I gotta go there, man. I gotta visit there. I'm going there next year. I'm going. I'm making it happen. Even if I have to prepay for it in a rally from. Heck, I might even be there next month. I could go there in August if this rally kicks ass or the early sense. Oh man, 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 man. I mean, what would happen if, say, Litecoin goes to like 1,600, 2,000, 3,000 sick levels? Maybe Ripple goes up 10 times. This coin goes up like, well, Theta is a big one. Goes up. If Theta goes up 30, 40 times, and then it's 33 degrees, and this happens in like 5 weeks from now, I'm going to be thinking, okay, let's do this today, kind of deal. I don't need a passport to go here. And I know it wouldn't be the sunrise and sunset August 1st is much different. I understand the mathematics on how that works within how the North Pole and South Pole gets their sun and darkness. I am fascinated by the sun time and how it even equates all the way to the equator, as well as the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer as well. No, there's going to be a lot of areas outside of Australia and northern Canada that I'm going to want to go to. But that also means places like going to Edmonton or Calgary or Vancouver or anywhere else based on the weather. Because I know I mean, that's a no-brainer. I can easily just go to any of those cities. Nova Scotia, any of those big cities, every single day they're flying out of Pearson Airport in Toronto. So I know I can fly out fast to those cities. But I gotta think that, and I'm gonna research. But yeah, I gotta go here. And how long is my video now? 33 minutes, and I've pretty much talked about everything. But I really do. I'm having a very difficult time with the heat. Ever since around 2008, 2009 is really when it started to get me bad. So it has for about a decade now. So do something about it, and that's prep. Now, granted, stuff like this is just all fun stuff. And there's so many other things in here like buying a new house even. That's just other different things. Food plans. Oh, I got interesting food plans because one of the things I was even going to talk about too is, and I'm so, and I when I say this, I'm saying this kind of realistically in a deflationary environment. And when I say this, you are not going to exceed your limits. But how much do you budget for food? Can you live off of $5 a day for breakfast? Can you live off of $9 a day for lunch? And $13 a day for dinner? 13 plus 9 is 22, plus 5 is 27. There's got to be snacks in between. So we'll allocate $8 worth of snacks, fruit, vegetables, and you know what's? I mean, when it gets hot, I got some ice cream in the freezer. I got quite a bit of food actually right now, but But definitely some of the cold stuff available too. But just, yeah, $30 a day. Well, how much would that be a year? There's 365 days in a year. And that works out to about 10 grand. That's the number that I came up with when I was thinking last night. If you can allocate $10,000 for 1 year, and it's something in a hyperinflationary environment you go through, because one of the things I also want to talk about in these videos is I remember losing $1,000 in one moment. And the first day you lose $1,000 on your for a full day's worth of playing cards, poker back then. I can remember my first $1,000 down day. Boy, okay, well that happens. But in order to lose $1,000, I got to make several of them. I can remember my first $10,000 losing day. That wasn't that long ago. That would have been cryptos in 2018 during that volatile run where I lost $10,000 in one day, and probably several of them, and probably a few times over. And I don't. Sometimes I didn't even check. It would have been one of those bad red candle Bitcoin down days. But I'm looking forward to the first time I can say I lost $100,000 today. But even more so, I'm looking forward to saying I can lose $1 million. I lost $1 million today. Markets went down. Bitcoin's down 17%. Litecoin's down 26% today. I'm down 1.4 million or something. I can't wait till I can say that. Now, of course, I'm going to say that like it sucks to lose 1.4, but I'm going to have to make many millions to get there. And that really is part of my risk reward management strategy that I am playing towards within this cryptocurrency trading game. And going back to the $10,000 a year for food, or $30 a day, which includes your beverages, by the way, too. If I were to just go out and quickly grab something to eat for just whatever quick, like it's always going to be double digits nowadays. In Canadian, and this is Canadian dollars that I'm talking about too. So it's less than US, 75%. But when we look at like $12 meals, $9 meals, that's still lower than that. But let's get real. There's a lot of times when I look at what I make from what I buy from the grocery store. This was $3. This was a good meal, and it was eight. And breakfast, I mean, oh my goodness, this was a good breakfast, and it was $2. How much did those four pieces of bacon cost? How much did the baked potato cost? How much did the beans cost? How much did the cucumbers cost? How much was the lettuce? How much were the peaches? How much? And just go through all the food that you buy in grocery stores. And even at today's prices, it's going to be much lower than that number. But you set yourself goals to reasonable things. Oh, you want to go out for a nice meal, it's going to cost you $30. Well, good thing I only spent this on breakfast, and the last 4 days I've allocated 60, 70, 80% of my budget towards dinner, and this is my over allocation day because I'm going to this nice restaurant and my meal's going to be $80 or $70, $60. It's going to be a damn good lobster or whatever it is you're eating. That is the type of risk reward management type of stuff that I think of. And a lot of it does come from my accounting background, just doing numbers. After all, I counted my silver today. I counted every single ounce that I got. I know exactly how many 999 pieces that I have in possession. I pretty much know how much my scrap silver is, but it's not fun, especially with those 1967 Canadian coins and just a few other ones. I'm like, man, I don't even know how much silver's in this. And this says 0.2045. I just don't want to add it because I got some pieces. It says what the silver is on it, meaning that this coin's got 0.2045 ounces of silver on it. I didn't even just. Some of it were numbers that were different than that. I'm just yeah. I'll just. Well, what I did is I calculated how many Canadian dollars worth of silver I had, and then each dollar's worth 10/17 of an ounce of silver. Right now, my 92% of my silver is pure. 88% of it is sterling or in the constitutional form. Well, then, thank you for tuning in. Again, risk reward management strategy. And my plan is to get to Nunavut. Oh, that ocean lake looks fun. I love lakes. Let me just show you a bit of the Mazana. That's that rock right here. It's pretty large. I've climbed it before, but I mean, they got tourist climb expeditions, and that's what I've climbed. There are rock climbers that do try to do it, and if you're a rock climber, it's a pretty good rock. Let's type in the correct spelling of it first and go to some images. This is a nice, beautiful aerial image of it. You can walk right to here. This is so amazing. I love this walk. I love it. One of my favorite walks of all time is just around this bend. My favorite beach, swimming spot of all time. You go down here, when the bay crosses over, that is the best swimming spot in the world for me, ever. I love snorkeling there. They called it back then the Deep Beach. There's three beaches. The other beach down in here, it's the big popular one. I'm not a fan of it, although it's cool. It's just too many people there. And then climbing this rock up here. I've been up at this top part before. It's pretty damn cool. Um, that I'll show you what it looks like at this point because there's got to be an image of that. I've taken some images of it, and I got some in different spots I'd have to look for. And I know my parents would have a whole bunch of them. But where's the point? I guess I just have to call it Bonnet. I mean, this is what you would be able to take very easy images of, stuff like that. Because you're literally only like walking distance away from where this ends to where this little tippy area is. That's probably only 30 feet. If that. It's not far. And down here, you're talking about waters over 100 feet deep here. And in other spots, like multiple, it's as deep as, it's the deepest freshwater lake in Canada. I don't know about the world, but it's up there. Because of this rock, like a big, like it's just so deep. It's awesome. Fishing on here again sucks. Okay, so let me just switch it over to Bon Echo Point, because that's what that area is called. Now this is what happens with the tourist expedition and climbing the rock. That's what you'll see. Again, I'm looking for this, what it looks like standing here. I don't see anything clear above it. It'd be in this general area. Great for kids. Great spot for kids. But I can't find the point. Okay. If you're wanting to stay, um, Fairway, I think it's called, is the best spot. It's by far the best spot. But I can. Oh man, let's go to the other lake, the one where you're not allowed. Okay, it's this lake here. I mean, this is the Mazenal Lake. Yeah, I mean, just walking down here is so cool. Okay, Boneco Lake. This looks like Boneco Lake here. I think. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'm sure it's this one here. But um, anyways, wonder if I can get Sam's Lake, Ontario. That was fun. I get Hotel Sam's Inn. It's a tiny lake. Halliburton, that makes sense. That's about the area it should be. Sam's Lake in Ontario. Is there a Wikipedia page for it? I mean, it's that small, there's no Wikipedia page? Seriously? I mean, anyone can make one. Problem though, again, going here, I've been there. It's not far. It's something I drive to, and it's something I went to when I was like 12 years old, and it was fun. But I wouldn't mind. just checking out new places like this. But I'm definitely not recommending this for anything cool. But I definitely recommending Bon Echo if you're ever in that area. And thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Yeah, these places here, if it's not out of, it's got to be like north of Ontario. It's got to be out of Ontario where places I got to go to. Take care. Bye bye.